Hello everyone, Linda Israel here, and I am using one of the element pages from the Royal Peacock kit. This is either a digital download or you can get it as a printed physical item from my shop. This is a collaboration between myself and Norella of Calico Collage. And if you notice in this butterfly image, the coloring of it was made using one of my gel prints. And Norella went in and digitally pulled in my gel print for that butterfly. She also did the same thing on the dress form here and several other items. So what I'm going to do is fussy cut these items out, and then we're going to use these to make a couple of journaling cards. I've selected a few of the elements here. So the next thing I'm going to do is grab my distress ink. This is walnut stain and a blending tool. I'm going to go all the way around the edges. I'm covering up that white area, and I'm also bringing just a little bit of that distress ink to the front of this image to kind of blend it together. You see how I've done that? I'm going to continue on with these other two pieces. Okay, so I've already distressed all of these pieces. The next thing I'm going to do is I want to enhance this butterfly just a little bit. So I'm going to grab a gold Krylon pen. I still have one in the package so you can see what I'm talking about. It's an 18 karat gold leafing pen by Krylon. They're acid free and they're really quite cool. So the first thing you want to do is you want to shake it just a little bit. And the way this nib is on here, zoom in so you can see, you have to prime it. So you just push up, straight up and down on your desk on a scrap piece of paper. And when you see a little bit of the liquid come out, you know that it is primed. And what I'm going to do is resting it on the edge of my butterfly and on my page that I have below here with a little non-stick, I'm just going to drag it around the image. And it's going to add a little gold edge all the way around. It kind of reminds me of those old-fashioned elements that you would see that would have the gold around the edge of it. And I just thought it would just be a nice little touch to add a little bit of gold all the way around this image. So you can kind of see how that looks on there. I'm not going to do these elements because I really want this to stand out on top of the others. So I'm going to close up my pen and put that aside. I've got my Misty out. I have the, I guess it's the medium one. It's the 8.5 by 6.5 size one, which works perfect for what I'm going to be doing. I've got a journaling card. I don't even know. Let me see what the size of these are. 6 by 4 approximate in size, and I'm going to place this somewhat in the middle because the stamp I have I know will go over the edges. So I'm just going to grab a magnet just to hold it in place. Another thing that I can do and have done is take a piece of washi tape and loop it over on itself, and then I can put that on the back side, and that'll keep it from moving around on me. I have the Damask background stamp that's from Beeline Design. This is in my shop, and I'm going to line this up on this piece of paper somewhat in the center. I may need to push it up just a little bit, and then I'm going to pick it up with the door just by closing it on there, and now it's over here on the door. And I've got my Versamark ink pad. This is for watermark, but you can also use it for embossing. And what I'm going to do, mine's dirty, but it won't affect this at all because I'm not going with clear. And I'm going to ink this up all over and stamp it onto this other side. And then I'll stamp it, pushing firmly across the whole thing. And I'm going to do it one more time because I want to make sure that I've got a good coverage. Okay, I'll take this out, leave the washi tape here so I can use it for something else. You will want to clean your stamp, so I'm just going to clean it really fast because the Versamark ink can pool up on there and then it'll be hard to get good images. So I've got some gold embossing powder. I just put it in like a plasticware container that I had. It makes it easier for me to operate with it instead of trying to put it in a jar. And all I'm doing is just sliding it into that embossing powder and coating where that image is. Okay, I'll close the lid because you don't want it blowing around on you. And then I'm going to use my heat tool. Now, a tip with embossing powder, especially if you don't know the brand, where it came from, they have plastics in them. And if you breathe that in, it can mess with your respiratory system. So I do highly recommend that you do it in a well-ventilated area, that if possible you wear a mask over your face so you don't breathe it in. I've got this far away from my face, so when I heat this up, I'm not breathing it in. Remember, embossing gets hot, so don't touch the embossed areas until it cools. You can see that it'll start to change colors here in just a moment. It'll get shinier as it melts. And I'm using a Heat It Heat tool by Ranger Ink. You notice I'm holding it up off of my surface because my cutting mat is not heat resistant. I just didn't pull out my heat resistant mat. So you want to do this if you're going to put it flat on something, a surface that won't warp from the heat from your heat tool. A lot of people ask me if I can do this with a hair dryer, and you cannot because the hair dryer doesn't get hot enough. You really need a heat tool. It's the best tool to have. Alright, so that is embossed all the way around. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Versamark ink pad again, and I want to add a gilded edge all the way around this with embossing powder. So I'm going to take the stamp pad and I'm going to rub it over the edge at an angle, just kind of grabbing a little bit. You can't see it because it's clear, but I love this effect when you are done adding the embossing powder. So I've just gone all the way around, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip it into the powder and coat where I touched it with the ink pad. So it gives it a really cool effect. And now I'm going to heat this and set it. See how that looks? It's got that really gilded, pretty look all the way around. While I've got my embossing powders out, I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to stamp another one while I'm at it. So I'm going to get my Misty. I'm going to use the same washi tape method that I have under here. Place that down. And then this time I have the postcard collage by Beeline Design, and I'm going to lay that where it's in the center of this image, or the center of the card. I don't know why I said center of the image. All right, then I'm going to pick it up with the door, and then we're going to ink it again with the Versamark ink. That looks pretty good. And I will clean my stamp and I'll be right back. I've got my embossing powder again, and I'm going to dip it into the powder the same way I did the first card. Heat emboss it. And just like with the other card, I'm going to take the Versamark ink pad and go right around the edges. And then we're going to dip it into the powder and then heat emboss it again. Alright, so I've got two cards that I have embossed, and I think now what I want to do is add some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist to them. So I'm just getting out a box that just so happens an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper fits in it, and this is just copy paper that I have underneath, and I'm going to lay this in here in such a way that it kind of makes a frame when I'm done spraying. And I'm using the Royal Peacock colors. The first color that I have here is Royal Green, and it has a lot of mica in it. You'll see it on the bottom. So I'm going to shake it really well. And then I'm going to spritz the cards just lightly. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. And then I've got one of the other colors. This one's called Royal Gold. It's an iridescent gold. It's just really pretty. So I'm going to spray that over a couple of times. And if there's any pooling on the card that I don't really like, or maybe it's just a little bit too much dots, I'll just grab a paper towel and kind of mop that up. It'll pick up any that's on top of that embossing powder because it's going to be a resist. I'm just kind of blotting it just a little bit. Alright, so now we've got these two base cards, if you will. And so I'm going to take the first one here, And I've got one of the Fussy Cut flower elements that I want to put on here. So I think what I want to do is I'm just going to adhere these straight to this background piece. I'm just going to take my Aleene's Tacky Glue. And a lot of people have been asking me about this cap, and I got it off of another bottle of glue. It was off of the gel tacky glue. I don't even think I have, oh, here it is. So it was on the clear gel tacky glue, and I just took it off and put the other bottle cap on this one, and it makes it so much easier. I keep it pretty clean, so it makes it easy because you keep it upside down, and the glue will be at the tip ready for you. It's a little thicker glue, but it works pretty good, and you don't get too much glue. So I'm going to set this over here like that. And I think I want this one because I'm going to put a butterfly on here. So I'm going to give it that look as if there's two flowers here using the same stem. So I'm going to glue this one down, put it right about here. And as I look at these, I think I want to add some glitter to them. So I'm just going to grab the Tulip Dimensional fabric paint. It's really inexpensive. So I'm just going to go in here and make some little circles on the flowers. And then I'm going to put a little bit on the butterfly as well. And I'll grab a paintbrush and I'm going to smear it around with my paintbrush. You can use your finger as well, but I like doing it this way because it spreads that glitter paint out and it's really subtle. I'm going to give this a couple of minutes to dry and I'll be right back. Alright, so the glitter paint is dry. Can you see the shimmer on there? I don't know, I think they're really pretty to have that shimmer. So the next thing I want to do is I think I want this to be on some pop dots. So I've got some little square pop dots, whatever your favorite brand kind is. You know, I think I've even used in the old days weather stripping that was two-sided that I found at the hardware store a long time ago. So we've got those, and then in the Royal Peacock kit you're going to get some fibers and some eyelash trims and whatnot. So I think what I want to do is I'm just making a little kind of thing here, just kind of where they'll poke out just a little bit, and I'm going to remove the sticky off of here, or the covers, and I think that's about where I want to put it. And just to kind of help keep everything in place, I'm going to lift up just a little bit and put a few drops of glue and kind of put that yarn down in there, the fibers, so it doesn't move around too much on me. And then I'm going to place this butterfly over the top, letting some of those fibers poke through and come out. See, we're starting to come together. Kind of cute, huh? Alright, so now I've got my little words here. These are words that I have in my shop. And I thought, oh, here's a good one right off the bat I think I want to use. I would use this one that says, use your wings. So I've got my Black Soot Distressing ink, and there's a white core to this paper, so I'm just going to go around the edges and cover up that white core. And I think that would be cute right up here in this area. What do you think? Zoom in on it just a little bit. I think that'll look cute right there. So I'm going to add a little bit of Aleene's Tacky Glue to the back of that. And I want to put some little rhinestone gems. I'm just going to grab a few here to pick from. And I'm going to use the Best Glue Ever by Scrap Perfect. And it's got the large no clog writing tip on there. So I'm just going to open this up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a few drops of glue here and there to put these little rhinestones in. So I'm going to put one right there. And let's put one up here and over here. Maybe one down here. Let's put one down here And then one over here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this will take it a moment to dry somewhat clear or a tacky clear. So while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to kind of position some gems. I think I'll put one right there. This one's a little bit bigger, so we'll put it over here. And what else we got? I'm trying to do different colors. I think that one would look good up here. And if I remember, there's a spot over here. Where'd I put it? To speed up the drying of that glue, I'm going to hit it with my heat tool and it'll start to turn clear. Since I've got my gems somewhat marked where I want to put them, that'll help remind me where the glue is. I'm going to use my Embelly Jelly, and it's a stick that I can put this little glob of stickiness on. And I want to pick up some of these gems and start putting them down where I want them. So what do you think? Think that's pretty cute? Nice little journal card. It's kind of a little 3D. It's got some neat texture and color to it. Well, let me show you what we're going to do with the other one as well. So I've got the larger butterfly, and I thought it would look really good on here. I've got some fibers as well for it. So I'm going to flip this over, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put some pop dots on the back of this one as well. Alright, so I've got a couple of colors. These are the ones that'll be in the Royal Peacock kit. So I'm kind of positioning these on here. And then this one is an extra that is from one of my fiber bundles that I thought might look kind of pretty in there. Kind of mixing them together. I'm going to grab a little bit of Valeen's Tacky Glue and just kind of make a little swirl here in the middle. And then place those fibers on top. Remove the stickies. And then I'm going to put some glue on this to add some rhinestones. So maybe one right there. Alright, while I'm waiting on the other glue to dry, I found the word timeless, and I think that might look kind of cute right here in the corner. So I'm going to add a little Valeen's Tacky Glue to the back side of this and stick it down here in the corner. I like letting the Best Glue Ever air dry just a little bit before I stick a gem into it, and then it doesn't slide around as much. So that's why I was waiting just a little bit before I place my gems down. And then they seem to stick a whole lot better than most other glues that I've tried. Alright, so I've stuck down the gems on that one, and that's what it looks like. I'll give you a shot of both of them at the same time. So there's both little journaling cards that I made using the Royal Peacock Images, Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist, Beeline Design Stamps, Versamark ink, embossing powder, glitter paint, fibers, a little bit of the Best Glue Ever to put the rhinestones down, and then some of the white words on black that I have in my shop. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Come back on Mondays at 3:45 p.m. Central Standard Time for my live stream on YouTube. Or I also have a live stream on Thursdays at 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Love to have you. We have a great time. I always have some kind of prizes to give away. And when I'm making a journal, I also have a raffle that you can win the journal. Again, thank you so much for watching. Check the description box below for links for my blog, the products that I used, as well as my Facebook group and my website. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm here to help you be able to be creative, use some of those supplies you have, make some beautiful things for your junk journals or greeting cards or whatever project that you're working on. Thanks again for watching. Have a fabulous day. Lots of love to you. Bye.